Hey Facebook community, it's Shane at Matrix Personalized Fitness, back once again to give you some more tips about your body and exercise. Last week, if you caught my video, I talked a little bit more about breathing and how it helps our internal reception of ourselves. Today I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into breathing itself. Obviously breathing is very important to us, but it's very important in everything that we do. And we like to talk about belly breathers, as I mentioned in the last video, upper chest breathing. These are all skills that we really need to have. And I kind of want to demonstrate today about how some of these things might actually improve your ability to move, to have strength, and everything like that. So, for starters, what I'd like you to do is assess a range of motion. It can be something very simple, like lifting your arm off to one side, bringing it back down, maybe taking it to the front, and seeing how far it goes. You could also do something like a rotational test, where you actually stop and mark how far you went. Or lastly, something like a toe touch could be something that you do. So pick one of these different things, do a few reps. Make sure you keep going and going and going until your range of motion doesn't increase anymore. We want to make sure that you're not seeing results just from the muscles warming up, but more so from what we actually do with the body. So I'll give you a second to pick that drill, test it out, and then I'll give you something new to try. And we're going to use that as a reassessment. So now that you know exactly how much rotation you have or how much range of motion you have, remember that and remember how it felt. The next thing I want you to do is take some nice deep belly breaths. We'll try 5 of them. So placing one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. Really breathe into the lower hand. Taking as much time as you need to fill up, and at least an equal amount of time to exhale afterwards. Try 5 rounds of that, and then just reassess to see if your range of motion changed simply from better breathing. Go ahead and give that a shot. You can just push pause on this video. Now that you've checked that out, I'm going to give you some mobility work for the chest that might actually help improve your breathing. So as we know, the lungs live underneath of our ribs, and it's important that our spine and ribs are able to move to accommodate the expansion of the lungs. So what we're going to try today is called a thoracic glide. What we'd want to do is from the side, we're trying to pull our spine into our body and lift our chest forward. It might look simple, but it can actually be very challenging, particularly if you haven't been doing this movement at all. Once we've lifted forward, we then want to try and round backwards. Now you notice what this movement is not are the shoulder blades moving back and forth. That's a totally different joint than trying to mobilize the spine. So again, what you want to work on here is first trying to pull the spine into the body, lifting the chest forward, broadening the collarbones. From there, we want to cave the chest in, rounding the spine backwards, and trying to get a full rounding from the base of the neck down to the base of the ribs. The rest of your body can stay pretty still. So once again, try a couple rounds of that. See what you can do on your own. Try 3 or 4 movements and consider doing the inhale pulling you forward, the exhale rounding you back. Once you've done a couple of those movements, once again, reassess the movement you did, see if there are any changes, something better or worse. All right, from there, the last little bit of this is actually getting more lateral mobility as well. We want to think about moving from above the hips. The easiest way to do that is to either keep your hands on your hips or to take your arms out to the side and work on sliding your torso back and forth while keeping your head stable. Again, this movement is creating mobility in the spine, in the section where the ribs lie and attach. So try a couple reps of that. And then finally, if you really want to get fancy and you see if that one works, you can try putting the front to back and the side to side together into a full circular motion. So whichever one of those you decide to try, give it a shot and then reassess. Now, here's the fun part. What we're going to do this time is after having done the mobility, I want you to breathe once again. Try and take the deepest, fullest in-breath that you can and see if this time it isn't a lot easier and you can't inhale for a much longer period of time because you've created more space in your ribs and your chest and more mobility for the lungs to expand and move. So go ahead and give that a shot. It's pretty interesting how integrated the body is, the way that all of these joints have to work together to enable us to breathe, and how these simple little changes in our body can create broader, more spectrum changes when we look at mobility and other things like strength and everything like that. So if you found this interesting, please post below. I'd love to know the types of results you got. If you didn't get the best results, it may be because you either need to ramp it up, do things quicker, or maybe you need to recess it a little bit and try and go for smaller ranges of motion. Everybody's nervous system is different, responds to different things, and that's what makes all of this so interesting. It's about playing and figuring it out. So again, any questions, feel free to post them below. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it.